Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise. And today I have a heck of a video for you guys. Once again, the Democrats have sent their black watchdogs to attack President Trump. The entire press conference that he held at the Black Conservative Federation yesterday, great turnout out there. A lot of brothers and sisters out there representing. That lets you all know that there is hope. There are a lot of black people pulling for Donald Trump. There are a lot of black people that are conservatives, that are Christians, that do not believe in this Marxist, socialist, one world order, new world order agenda that these Democrats are pushing. Before we get into the video, we must have a quick word from our sponsor. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. AskWiseToday@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of me.
Young G's barbecue sauce. Thank you, America. That's right.
Get you some Young G's barbecue sauce today. Link down in the description box below. Support a service-disabled, veteran-owned business. Not only is this barbecue sauce good, it is good for you. Gluten-free, low in sodium, and absolutely no high fructose corn syrup. Get you some Young G's barbecue sauce today. Let's get into the video.
It's crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, black, conservative American patriots. The worst nightmare. Together, we're part of the greatest political movement in the history of our country. It is the greatest movement, I think, without question, in the history of our country. And it's done great things, and then we had a little interruption. But the interruption's not going to last much longer. And we're going to have a tremendous victory. It's going to be even, I believe, greater and probably more important even than in 2016. That was now number one, but I think this is going to be something very, very special. Over the past 8 years, we've energized the Republican Party, and we've expanded the Republican Party. You and I have made it bigger, better, and so much more interesting than ever before, and much more important than ever before. In 2020, we increased our share of black vote by 50%, 50. And we earned more votes from African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans than any Republican in generations. It hasn't been, you go back many, many decades, and we're really honored by it. We're on track now to smash. You see what's happening. The polling's coming out, and they go, wait a minute, there must be a mistake here. They're saying black people really like Trump. There must be a mistake. These guys know it's no mistake. They're saying, what's going on? We had one today, 28%. We had one at 31%. And, you know, I hate to say, when I looked at Romney, does anybody know Romney? Didn't he get 4%? He got 4% and falling. And we're at a number that people are, frankly, if we were 28%, I don't even think we have to do the election. They would just, I think wouldn't they just sort of leave? They would leave. They'd just say, let's get out of town. Well, the getting is good because we're going to do great things for everybody, for all Americans. As one sign of just how great a job we've done, there are more black Republicans serving in the U.S. House of Representatives today than at any time since the 1870s. That's a long time ago. To me, that's a sign of progress, but the radical left Democrats in a cause, and it's a cause for panic for them. It's a nightmare, hysteria, and rampant outbreaks. They're suffering from a terminal case of Trump derangement syndrome. Have you all heard?
Trump was giving them the business last night. The business. So much so that the Democrats had to send out their black attack dogs, and they tried to debunk everything that President Donald Trump said, but you can't debunk facts. You just can't. But check this out. This is going to piss you off.
At his entire career. You know what that is? Being a racist, because he's a racist. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists.
Donald Trump made that remark in South Carolina while making a pitch to the core of the Biden coalition, black voters. Now, Donald Trump failed to mention a few important things there. He was the guy who played footsie with white nationalists after Charlottesville. Donald Trump was the guy who had to be asked over and over again to distance himself from David Duke, the literal grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And the actual Trump sales pitch to black voters was even simpler than that. Biden bad, Trump good.
You know what's crazy about that? They send this sister out here to do the bidding for these racist white liberals. And she is a willing participant. She's taking the bag. She will call someone like me, someone like Larry Elder, someone like Brandon Tatum, someone like Greg Foreman, a sellout. But it's these people that are the real sellouts. They've taken the bag. They're the ones with the sheet and the talking points that they must stick to. It's them. Donald Trump on a multitude of occasions disavowed all these white supremacist groups that the liberals kept asking him about. The reason why he had to keep saying that I don't agree with it is because they kept asking. Now, what she won't tell you is back in the day, Donald Trump donated a lot of money to Jesse Jackson's run for president, hired a ton of people to work on his buildings, to include foremans and things of that nature from the black community back in the 80s. Black people loved this guy in the 80s and 90s. He's been mentioned in over 300 different rap songs over the years. But they want to call Donald Trump a racist when you got a guy like Joe Biden, who back in the 80s was hanging out with Strom Thurmond. And if you guys don't know who Strom Thurmond was or is, he was so much against the Civil Rights Act. He was a Republican, so much against the Civil Rights Act that he switched parties to the Democrat Party so he could vote against it. These are the kind of people that President Joe Biden has been hanging out with for years. He's the one that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He's the one that said they're going to put you back in chains. It's him. He's the one that authored the 86, 88, and 1994 crime bill. It's Joe Biden. These people are ridiculous.
And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, black, conservative American patriots. They shouldn't be doing well because, honestly, they've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for everybody. But for black Americans, they have done a very poor job. If you want...
Democrats have always done a poor job. They're the biggest party of grifters in the country. There's no better grifter than a Democrat. Look at Abby Phillips. She can't possibly believe the things that she gets paid to talk about on TV on a day-to-day basis. She can't possibly believe it. They're some of the biggest grifters out there.
Strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. They hate that, though. They hate that. If you want a closed border, low government, and believe in a conservative way of life, you're not with the alphabet community. You're not with boys can be girls, girls can be boys. You are a conservative. And to be honest with you, most black people fall into that category. It's just unfortunate that they vote against what they actually believe in and have been doing so for about 60 years.
Trump says that he's not going to take the black vote for granted. He says under the last 4 years of his presidency, he achieved the lowest African-American unemployment rate ever recorded. But it turns out that's not true. The all-time low for black unemployment was set by, you guessed it, Joe Biden in April.
This lady here is so ridiculous. She knows exactly what he was saying. She knows exactly what he's talking about. During his administration, he successfully brought the unemployment down in the black community to the lowest it had been in the history of the country. That number was at somewhere around about 5%, with a workforce participation rate of over 60%, which was an all-time high. Yes, there are a lot of black people that are working right now, but she's being so disingenuous. See, that's what I'm talking about. Democrats, they never give you the full truth. They give you half truths, and a half truth is a whole lie.
April of 2023 at 4.8 percentage points. And Trump also added this.
Unlike racist Joe Biden, I've spent my entire life working hand in hand with black Americans to create jobs, build buildings, invest in our communities. I want to tell you, a black worker is a great worker.
All right, well, let's put aside treating black people like a monolith, which he did over and over again. Donald Trump's career.
What in the heck have Democrats been doing? What the hell are y'all asking for black people to do? Vote as a monolith. Y'all don't even want black people to have their own mind. Y'all don't even want black people to be free thinkers and look at the policies and vote accordingly. Y'all would prefer that black people vote as a monolith, and y'all are okay with black people voting as a monolith as long as they are voting for Democrats. But like I said in a previous video, that is no longer the case. That is the reason why they've brought in all of these migrants, because they know the older black folks are about to go on to glory. They're headed in that direction. And the younger group, the Gen X, the millennials, Gen Z, we are looking at things at face value. We are looking at things for the policies that you implement for us and our children. And we're looking at that. That's not to say that there's not a host of black people that are going to vote Democrat no matter what. There's a lot of black women that are going to vote Democrat no matter what, because the government, they're all about it. The government is their husbands. The government is their children's father. The government is their employer. So you got a lot of black women that are going to vote for them. You got a lot of brothers that are saying, you know what? I don't see how this benefits me. This doesn't make sense for us to continue to give these people our votes and they offer us nothing. It doesn't make sense.
Career has been marked by a detailed history of racism. He was sued in the 1970s for housing discrimination based on race. He settled that suit, and Trump also gave a pretty stunning reason for why he says black voters like him now.
I got indicted for nothing, for something that is nothing. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against.
Facts. And who has been the party of the hurt and discrimination? It's been the Democrats. Again, I reiterate, it was Joe Biden that authored the 86, 88, and 1994 crime bill. Who are the people that felt the brunt of that crime bill? It was black people. There are a lot of black men that can understand what Donald Trump is going through, because there's a lot of us that feel like, damn, we've been in his shoes before. Somebody I know have experienced something similar by the policies that the Democrats have put in place.
I want to start with Republican strategist Shermichael Singleton, along with former communications director for Vice President Harris and former senior advisor to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Ashley Etienne. I am going to start with you, Ashley, because
Thank
you know
you.
what?
Thank you. I think he needs to defend his party and the head of his party.
The idea that Trump being indicted multiple times makes him simpatico with black people in this country is what?
I mean, here's the thing. I couldn't be more, and I'm going to take the privilege of speaking for all black people. I couldn't be more offended by that statement. And I just find it very rich. And here's the other thing.
So we're not a monolith. But she's offended for all black people. Y'all heard her.
Just him saying black the way that he did, it just felt mocking in some sense. But
Did she have that same smoke for Joe Biden when he said,
if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black?
These people are so disingenuous. They are ridiculous. And they are the true panderers. They are the true sellouts. They are the true bootlicks. They are the true Sambos. It's them. They've bent the knee. They've taken the bag. They're the ones that they put in front of black folks to hold us back, to hold us down. Those types of black people are the ones that when back in the day, when the slaves were planning a revolt, it was them. It was Abby Phillips that went and told the massa that, hey, they getting ready to revolt. And when things went haywire, it was them and they got their manumissions. It was black folks like them. It's black people just like them. They're the reason that we're not further ahead in America than what we are. It's because of people like them that hold us back. During the Trump administration, black people thrived. Black people thrived during the Trump administration. Household incomes for black people went up over $4,000. Home ownership skyrocketed to almost 50%. And they want to tell you that things were not great or good for black people during the Trump administration. Not to mention over 1 million black Americans lifted themselves out of poverty. Not to mention record amounts of money given to HBCUs, more than what President Obama ever did during the 8 years that he was in office. It's people like those folks, the Abby Phillips of the world, that other sister that was sitting there talking about how disgusted she was when Trump mentioned black. But yet, where was that smoke when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black? I bet she had no smoke for him. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Keep God first in your life, America first, and I'm going to catch up with y'all next time. Peace.